what the most lonely hobby among all hobbies is? That's right, it's playing video games. But I happen to be in the boat of people who have played one of the most important video games of all time, Shrek 2 on the Game Boy Advance. Yeah! No, I mean Super Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64. I grew up with the GS port of the game, so call me irrelevant if you want, but I played the original, and I still hold the game close to my heart. Nothing comes without its flaws, so in this here video, I'm going to take a look at what this game has to offer. For time management reasons, in essence, so this video doesn't take me any longer to make than it needs to, I'll only be looking at the 15 main stages of the game. Perhaps in another video, I'll cover the special stages and the DS exclusives, but for now... Jesus Christ, alright. Well, of course we're gonna begin with the Bomb Battlefield, which is the first stage that you will come across in your journey. It's a very well-rounded stage, especially for a 3D Mario game, and it's very well put together, and I think it's the perfect place to start. The best part, though, in my opinion, is that the stage doesn't really feel out of place compared to the others. Here's the thing, in many 3D Mario games, and really just a lot of 3D games in general, they'll be plopped down right in the middle of, Jesus Christ, this place is basic. Usually you're sort of maybe through the first stage of areas in a game, but the Super Mario 64 doesn't really do that. When you fall into the Bomb Battlefield, all the game does is say, go talk to that guy, he'll help you out. And other than a few small pointers throughout the game, that's kinda it. I got a bit off track there, but my point is, the Bomb Battlefield wasn't oversimplified due to being the first stage. It just feels like a normal stage. Overall, I think I'll put this stage in A tier. Alright, so before I get into this one, well, Womp's Fortress is my favorite stage, so I will try to be as unbiased as I can. So Womp's Fortress is on the smaller end of stages, but it doesn't really feel as such because your goal involves climbing up the stage to ultimately reach a large platform at the top, either containing a tower or King Womp, depending on the star that you're playing. The layout of the stage, in my opinion, is very well put together. However, there are some strange stars. Shooting the Wild Blue is a rather risky star, especially for being so early in the game, and there's not really a way for a player to know about Hoot the Owl unless they just decide to climb up this tree. Other than that, though, this level is pretty fun to run around in, and it still makes for a pretty good stage early. Overall, good design with a few instances of counterintuitivity, but the stage still lands an A tier. In my opinion, those small instances are really minor, and they aren't really enough to keep the stage from being a great romp. Cool Mountain is another favorite of mine, but I am more than willing to point out a few small issues. First, what I like about this stage. First off, you get to climb down a mountain. How often does that happen in a video game? The slide is pretty interesting, and you have to bring a baby penguin back to her mama, which is kind of adorable. It's a nice big stage too, which means it's definitely one of the better courses if you're just looking to run around and do whatever. There are some flaws. The worst flaw for me is the red coin star. My issue with this red coin star is the size of the stage. I know I just praised Cool Mountain for its large roomy size, but the red coins are spread out through the entire stage. It's not like Tick-Tock Clock or Tall Mountain, where even though these stages are large, the red coins are all near each other. No, in Cool Mountain, you're pretty much on a scavenger hunt for all the red coins. It's excessively complicated, and it's pretty annoying if you have all the red coins, but like maybe you fall off the stage or something. This stage. Anyways, there are a few other small things. The wall kicks will work star area is a bit difficult to get to. This stupid freaking platform is freaking stupid. All that being said, I think the stage has a decent design, but it's not without a few flaws. This leaves it in B tier, which is still completely respectable. so Jolly Roger Bay is the first water level that you'll play, assuming that you're playing all the stages in order. I do like the sunken ship star. I think that sunken ships are always a cool idea in video games. The area that the underwater tunnel leads to is kind of neat. It's a fun place to run around. I do have a slight issue with the stage. For one thing, if you're playing through the Jetstream star without any special tricks, you can't really get the star without the metal cap. I know this is supposed to give an incentive to go back to that star, but I don't know, man. You don't get the metal cap until Hazy Maze Cave, and I feel like at that point, most people, except for completionists, aren't going to want to backtrack from the basement stages to progress. It's not that big of a deal, I guess, but I'm still mad. Also, the treasure chest star is stupid. The design of the stage is fine, I guess. It's just kind of too big of a stage with too little going on. Overall, Jolly Roger Bay is going to be placed in the C tier. I don't know, man. I find this stage a little boring. Not bad by any means, but I just never look forward to playing this stage. Well, here's the thing. Big Boo's Haunt doesn't necessarily excel at anything other than aesthetic, but there aren't many things I can say that are wrong with it. Sometimes you can fall into a hole and you'll land down here. It's kind of annoying, but it's supposed to be. The stage is decent design overall, but really how hard is it to make a haunted house? I'm sure there's a lot that I'm skimming over, but I'm just gonna give this stage a C, right down the middle. I just don't know. Ever wanted to hear me whine? Lethal Lava Land is something of a hot mess, in every meaning that either of those two words can mean. I know a lot of people love this stage. I am not a lot of people. Listen, I don't dislike the stage, but there are a good few things wrong with it I'm just dying to point out. First of all, look at this red stuff. It's everywhere. I know this is called Lethal Lava Land for a reason, but come on. I feel like they could have been so creative with this layout. Said, no, it's just one layer of lava with some disgusting looking platforms to jump around on. Also, the bullies, aren't really that hard to defeat, but compared to some other enemies, they are. Also, the rolling log star. It's very simple and pretty pointless, and it takes up so much space that could be used for more interesting things. It doesn't even make sense in the context of the stage! I think this is another case of a stage being too big with not enough going on. They try to make it seem like there's stuff to do, but at the end of the day, I just feel like the challenges are too linear compared to other stages. Of course, there's the volcano, and that does not save this stage. The volcano's cool, but again, the challenges within are just way too linear, and you can't really just run around and explore. All that said, I think this level is good in concept. With a little polish, it could be great. But it's not. I am placing Lethal Lava Land in D tier. I know that's kinda harsh, but Lethal Lava Land is kinda harsh. I'm gonna start by saying that Hazy Maze Cave used to be my favorite stage, which I am aware means that I'm about to lose all credibility. But over time, my love for the stage has been mellowed a little, and I realize that there are a few things that hold this stage from being the best it can be. What am I talking about? Okay, so first off, this stage is one of the best layouts in the game. I know that may sound like crazy talk, but hear me out. This stage is gigantic. There's plenty of stuff to do. There are a lot of smaller, more linear paths throughout the stage, but not a lot of roaming space, but there's also plenty of larger areas where you can just run and jump around. It's a perfect combination of large open areas and small linear ones. And even then, when there is linearity, it's almost always for a good reason. The maze in Hazy Maze was a little small and tight. There's not a lot of places to jump around, but your goal is to get through the maze as fast as possible. Linearity adds to the objective. And also it's a maze, so what would you want to explore? I do have a couple issues. The elevate for 8 red coin star is kind of annoying and slow, and these big rocks are a little annoying to bypass, but never exactly frustrating. Hazy Maze Cave is being placed in the A tier. I can't find too many things that are wrong with it. After really getting down to it, I have mad respect for this stage. It's not perfect, but after really considering it, it is very well put together. I don't like this one. Shifting Sandland is a desert-themed stage. There's a pyramid, great potential, but no, we got a bird. Oh, where do I begin? The quicksand is stupid, and Klepto here makes me want to cry. The Tox Box maze is dumb and a waste of time. I always use a wing cap to bypass this area, and I don't know anyone else who doesn't. The quicksand is stupid, and there's just not a lot of space to run around. There are a few open areas, but there's not enough for my personal taste. Because everywhere else is crowded by quicksand, which, I kinda get it, but just like the lava in Lethal Lava Land, the quicksand could have been used in more interesting ways. The quicksand is dumb, and pretty much all of the stars outside the pyramid are either stupid annoying or stupid dumb. There's a pyramid though, so let's talk about that. The only good stars are in this pyramid, and even still, the one where you have to climb to the top is a fun idea, but I cannot count how many times I've fallen down and have had to climb all the way back up. IROC is literally the only good star in this stage. Yes, the only thing I like about Shifting Sandland. IROC. 2 hands, 2 eyes, what an adventure. Definitely my favorite boss in the game. Shifting Sandland gets D tier, I don't care. Review over. Dire Talks, the second water-themed stage. I've been less fond of this stage than I am of Jolly Roger Bay, but we'll see how I feel after I talk about it. In this stage, you're thrown right into the water. No time to breathe, just tossed right in. There's not a lot of surrounding land to run around on, and this stage is almost entirely water. Actually, isn't a bad thing here, though, because there's a lot more stuff to see here than in Jolly Roger Bay. There's this whirlpool, there's a jet stream again, which is okay, because at this point most people will have unlocked the metal cap. There's a neat big submarine, which you have to board to get a star. It can be a little finicky to get on if you aren't 100% used to the controls, but either way, pretty neat. There's this heckin' giant, stupid tunnel. My issue with the stage is how you get to it. So you finally get 30 stars, you're thinking, oh man, it's time to fight Bowser again. You open the star door and you see ripples. You try to go to the Bowser level entrance, but you're thrown into an entirely different stage. I just feel like this stage is a bit of an annoyance when playing through this game. Overall though, Dire Talks gets a B tier ranking. It's a little more interesting than Jolly Roger Bay, but it's nothing absolutely groundbreaking. So first of all, yes, this is indeed a mountain, and it sure is tall times 2. Basically imagine a bomb battlefield, but This stage is alright. There are a few more linear areas than I would prefer, but that doesn't really hold it back since, well, you're climbing a mountain, big open areas wouldn't really make much sense here. There isn't much to say, but it has pretty good level design. I can't really think of too many bad things about it. The rolling log doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and getting to this area is kind of annoying. Also, I kinda hate accidentally falling off the mountain and being tossed all the way to the bottom, but it's okay, I guess. Oh, but guess what? There's a slide! And guess what else? It's infinitely worse than any of the other slides! There is definitely a point to be made about the harder challenge of this slide compared to others. But come on, there's a slide skip for a reason, moving on. Overall, I give Tall Mountain a B tier. Not overtly spectacular, but not excessively terrible either. It's still a fun time. It's fine. Igloo's neat, fun romp, place is a bit generic overall. Main boss, C tier. I like this one. This stage is never not cool for me. I usually pick the tiny island because I can easily jump to where I want to go, and then just use any nearby pipe to go to the huge island since that's where pretty much all the stars are. This level is good, but there are a few things wrong with it. Sometimes it is a little easy to slip off the tiny island, and I hate 70% of the Earth's surface. The design is relatively linear, and even in the huge island, there's just not really too many places to just play around in. It honestly feels like it could have been made in a 3D level editor or something. Grassy, beachy, windy, mountainous theme is a bit basic, but come on. I'm gonna leave Tiny Huge Island and Beach here. It is one of my personal favorites, and it will never not be, but it does hold a couple of design flaws. Alright, look, Wet Dry World is easily one of the most hated on levels in this game, and I am not innocent of the accusations that Wet Dry World is anti-good, but let me take a closer look at this stage. So, one of the first things you may notice when entering this stage is the fact that the water level can change. I love the concept, but why this level? Why would they use it in a level like this? This stage requires a hefty dose of precise platforming, which of course platforming is what the Mario series is best known for. This is precise platforming, with tall jumps and isolated targets to jump to, which does not work nearly as well in 3D as it does in 2D, especially in the early ages of 3D. There's a point to be made about challenge, but there's a difference between challenge and straight up dysfunctionality. Most of the stars in this area are a little teensy little thing that I like to call absolutely asinine. But there's a whole entire area, which is this little town, and oh my goodness, why couldn't the rest of the stage be designed like this little area? The idea of changing the levels of flooding water in a town is so neat. Why did they confine it to this one area? So, yeah, the town is definitely the best area in the stage, and it is very fun. It just sucks that you have to swim through the Nile River just to get to it. Yeah, Wet Dry World is going in D tier. It's a good thing I reevaluated this stage while making this video, otherwise it would have gotten an F. I really love this level. It is such an incredibly adorable idea for a stage, and I absolutely love it. But even God has his moments. There is not a whole lot wrong with this level, but what there is wrong with it is really wrong with it. There is only one thing that I have to complain about here. The y-axis. See, this level's theme is supposed to represent the idea that you're climbing a big huge clock, so of course the vertical form makes sense. But I have the same issue here that I had with the pyramid in Shifting Sandland. In some places, it can be so easy to slip and fall off and either fall out of the stage entirely, or at the very least, fall all the way back down to the bottom. Now besides that though, I still think the stage is wonderful, and it is still getting beats here. Up to this point, I've been dogging on the linearity of some stages, but as a tall mountain, you're climbing a vertical structure, so it doesn't really matter here. Anyways, yeah, beat tier. Oh my dear sweet Vixen, this is the last stage I have to talk about. I am so close to being finished and being able to upload this. The final stage just had to be this, and of course it's the one I'm going to ramble about the most. So first of all, you're faced with a magic carpet. This is how you get around this. So first of all, you're faced with a magic carpet. This is how you get to all the different areas in the level, and oh my Vixen, I hate it. It is so slow, but these areas are designed to where if it went any faster, that it would be unnecessarily difficult. Second of all, there is too much stuff in this level. There is no apparent designer theme to the stage other than sky, and all of these different things are just random challenges just floating there. It is so frustratingly confusing or so annoyingly time-consuming to get to certain areas in the stage. Also, speaking of all the random floating challenges, it is so incredibly easy to fall out of the stage. There is no solid layer of ground anywhere. It is just all different platforms varying in size, functionality, and locations just placed wherever the heck the developers spat them onto. I so love the idea of a challenge fest in this game, but Rainbow Ride just does it so wrong. The idea is fine, but that's the best thing I have to say about the stage. It's just fine! All of these random areas in this stage have no context as to where they are in relation to anything else, or how they got here, or anything. Argue, oh, how did any of the other stages get here? But like, the Bomb Battlefield is an open field with a mountain. Jolly Roger Bay is a deep-sea bay with a pirate ship. Shifting Sandland is a desert. These all make sense. Even Tick-Tock Clock. Sure, the concept on its own doesn't make sense, but at least you go into the stage knowing, holy vixen, I just jumped at a clock. You can imagine these as real places in the Mario world. Rainbow Ride is just a bunch of floating platforms in the sky. This stage is going to the F tier. There is not a stage in this game of which I have more problems with than Rainbow Ride. I do not enjoy this stage. That was my ranking for all of the main Super Mario 64 stages. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I want to see y'all's opinions down in the comments down below. I really like talking to you guys down there. At some point, soonish enough, I'll have another video ranking all of the secret stages and the Koopa stages and the DS exclusive special stages. But for now, that's really all I have to say. I love you. Bye.